At 73, Rick Lagina has spent much of his life chasing one of the greatest mysteries in the world, the treasure of Oak Island. For over 2 centuries, this small island off the coast of Nova Scotia has challenged explorers, treasure hunters, and dreamers, leaving behind legends of riches, danger, and hidden secrets. For Rick and his brother Marty, the search has been a lifelong mission, a test of patience, courage, and determination. And now, after years of digging, flooding, and setbacks, something incredible has finally been uncovered, something that may change everything we know about Oak Island. The focus of their recent efforts has been the so-called Money Pit, a site that has captivated explorers since the 1700s. The Money Pit is no ordinary hole in the ground. It has been described as a sophisticated and dangerous construction, filled with traps and hidden chambers designed to protect whatever lies beneath. Over the years, explorers have poured millions of dollars and decades of effort into unearthing its secrets, only to be met with disaster. The most recent season, however, brought both catastrophe and revelation in ways no one could have imagined. The team's plan was ambitious. They had drilled massive steel-reinforced shafts into the Money Pit area, each designed to hold back the relentless water and unstable earth that had plagued every previous dig. These shafts, named TB1 and TO1, were some of the largest and strongest ever constructed on Oak Island. The idea was simple yet bold. If they could reach the depths of the Money Pit without triggering a collapse or flood, they might finally uncover evidence of the treasure that had eluded generations. For a time, it seemed as though the plan was working. Artifacts were appearing. The team even identified areas that could be part of the original Money Pit. Groundwater testing and advanced tracing techniques hinted at a large source of precious metals, gold and silver, hidden more than 100 feet underground. The excitement was palpable. Every tool recovered, every signal detected, brought them closer to an answer that had been sought for over 225 years. Then, the unthinkable happened. During a routine excavation, a crew member named Jared noticed something moving on his control monitor. The ground beneath the shafts began to give way, and in an instant, thousands of tons of earth, rock, and steel collapsed, filling the reinforced shafts with water and debris. The disaster was total, catastrophic. Years of effort, millions of dollars, and the best-laid plans of the team seemed to vanish in seconds. For most people, this would have been the end. Most explorers would have packed up, admitted defeat, and walked away. But not on Oak Island, and not for Rick and Marty Lagina. They knew that every disaster on this island carried a lesson, a clue hidden beneath the surface of misfortune. And in this collapse, there was a revelation waiting to be discovered. As the team assessed the damage, Marty Lagina proposed a shocking theory. What if the treasure wasn't lost? What if the collapse had actually moved it deeper, into a natural underground cavity known as a solution channel? This theory suggested that the treasure might now lie at a depth and location the team had never considered, protected by layers of rock, mud, and water. The collapse wasn't a defeat, it was a message, a clue in disguise. But if the treasure was deeper than ever, how could they find anything? The answer was in what the collapse had left behind. The massive pile of dirt, rock, and debris that had been excavated before the shafts fell in. This material, known in the business as spoils, contained everything that had been removed from the Money Pit area. Essentially, it was a time capsule, holding clues from every layer of the pit, from the surface down to 160 feet deep. The team immediately began a careful examination of the spoils. Gary Drayton, the metal detection expert, took the lead, but the work was far from simple. The pile was contaminated with centuries of debris, rusted iron fragments, broken tools, and remnants of previous searches. Every metal object in the pile created signals that could mask smaller, more important artifacts. It was a painstaking process, but the team was determined. Every signal had to be investigated. Every object had a story to tell. Their efforts were soon rewarded. Among the debris, they found a remarkably old iron pickaxe. Analysis suggested it dated back to the 1600s, more than a century before the money pit was officially discovered in 1795. This single artifact changed their understanding of the timeline. It suggested that someone had been working in the money pit area long before the official story began, adding credibility to the idea of a sophisticated, well-funded operation. The excitement didn't stop there. Continuing their meticulous search, Gary detected another signal that stood out from the noise. Carefully, the team excavated around it, revealing a dark, heavy tool. It was a chisel, covered in mud but clearly ancient. Unlike modern tools, this chisel lacked alloys and elements common in contemporary metalwork. Laboratory analysis confirmed that it was likely from the 1700s, possibly even older. This discovery was monumental. It was proof that the depositors of the money pit were operating at a high level of skill and planning, long before the legends we know today. The chisel was more than just an artifact. It was a clue to the sophistication of the treasure's original construction. Unlike a shovel or pickaxe, a chisel is used for fine shaping, woodworking, and masonry. This indicated that the money pit was not simply a hole to hide treasure, but a complex structure that required precision and craftsmanship. The evidence suggested the possibility of a sealed wooden vault or a stone structure intricately designed to protect whatever lay within. Rick Lagina, who had spent decades on this quest, understood the significance immediately. At 73, he had witnessed countless setbacks, floods, and dead ends, but this find proved that the treasure hunt was still alive and more intriguing than ever. The artifacts recovered from the spoils pile rewrote the history of Oak Island, confirming that serious, organized operations were taking place in the money pit area well before the legends of the 1790s. This discovery also sparked new theories. What if the original depositors had anticipated future explorers? What if they had intentionally left clues in the material that would be removed during later digs? The idea was radical, but not impossible. Oak Island has always challenged logic and reason. Every collapse, flood, and setback has carried a lesson, and every artifact, no matter how small, has told a story. The team now faced the challenge of following these new leads. Collapsed shafts were inaccessible, and the treasure may have shifted into areas never before considered. But the chisel and other artifacts provided undeniable proof that the quest was far from over. They offered a roadmap of sorts, showing that deep beneath the money pit there may still be secrets waiting to be uncovered. Laboratory analysis played a crucial role in confirming the significance of these artifacts. Using advanced X-ray fluorescence scanning, the team was able to determine the chemical composition of the chisel and other tools. These results provided clear evidence that the objects were authentic, dating back to periods long before modern industrial processes. The confirmation of age and authenticity brought new energy to the team, motivating them to continue the search despite the challenges. The implications of these finds are profound. They suggest that Oak Island was not a simple site of random treasure burials, but a carefully planned and executed operation. The tools indicate a level of sophistication and skill that would have required funding, knowledge, and strategy. This changes the way we understand the money pit and the people who built it. It suggests they were highly intelligent, capable, and determined to protect their treasure with ingenuity that has baffled explorers for centuries. While the collapse of the shafts was devastating, it also revealed something unexpected.
The spoils pile contained everything from the original excavation, preserving a record of what had been hidden underground. By studying this material, the team was able to piece together a timeline and gain insight into the original depositors' methods. Each artifact, each fragment, told a story of work, skill, and planning that went far beyond simple treasure hiding. The discovery of the chisel and the pickaxe also raises questions about the broader history of Oak Island. Who were these early workers? How did they operate with such precision? And what exactly were they building? The evidence points to a level of sophistication that suggests the treasure was not simply buried, but carefully constructed, possibly in a vault or chamber designed to withstand time and human interference. For Rick and Marty Lagina, these discoveries are more than historical artifacts. They are confirmation that their lifelong pursuit is meaningful. Each find reinforces the idea that Oak Island is not just a myth or legend, but a real site with real evidence of sophisticated operations. It validates decades of effort, risk, and dedication. It proves that persistence, careful study, and attention to detail can yield results even when the odds seem insurmountable. The story of Oak Island is one of resilience, discovery, and ongoing mystery. The latest season, with its collapse and subsequent breakthroughs, demonstrates that failure can lead to revelation. The tools recovered from the spoils pile have changed the understanding of the money pit, rewriting history and opening new paths for exploration. They prove that the treasure hunt is far from over, and that new discoveries await those willing to dig, study, and persevere. Even with these finds, the journey is just beginning. The treasure may now lie at a depth never before imagined, in a location unreachable by conventional means. The collapse of the shafts reminds us that Oak Island is a dangerous and unpredictable place. But the artifacts provide hope and direction, a sign that the efforts of past and present explorers were not in vain. For viewers, the lesson is clear. Oak Island continues to captivate because it defies simple explanations. Each artifact, each collapse, every clue adds to a story that has spanned centuries. Rick Lagina and his team show that with patience, technology, and careful study, even the most elusive mysteries can be uncovered. The chisel and the pickaxe are symbols of this persistence, proof that history can be revealed in the most unexpected ways. As the investigation continues, the focus will shift to analyzing the deposits, understanding the construction techniques, and uncovering further evidence of the original depositors' methods. Each artifact, each fragment, told a story of work, skill, and planning that went far beyond simple treasure hiding. The journey of Oak Island is far from over. Every discovery opens new questions and new avenues for exploration. The story of the money pit, from its original discovery to the latest artifacts, is a testament to human curiosity, ingenuity, and determination. Rick Lagina's confirmation of the significance of these finds, at
Age 73, underscores that some quests are lifelong, and some mysteries require generations to solve. The collapse of the shafts, while dramatic and destructive, ultimately became a catalyst for discovery. It forced the team to think creatively, analyze the evidence they already had, and recognize the potential hidden in the debris. The spoils pile, once considered just discarded dirt and rock, turned out to be one of the most valuable sources of information the team has ever had. Through careful excavation, analysis, and interpretation, the artifacts recovered provide a new understanding of Oak Island's history. They reveal the sophistication of the original depositors, the complexity of the money pit, and the depth of the challenges facing modern explorers. They show that even after centuries of searching, Oak Island still has secrets to reveal, waiting for those willing to persevere. The discovery of the chisel, dating to the 1700s or possibly earlier, is a breakthrough that changes the timeline of Oak Island. It confirms that operations were taking place long before the legend of 1795, providing tangible proof that the treasure hunt is grounded in reality. The chisel is not just a tool, it is a symbol of the craftsmanship, planning, and determination of those who built the money pit. Rick Lagina's reaction to this discovery highlights the emotional weight of the quest. After decades of work, seeing evidence that supports the original theories is both thrilling and validating.
It confirms that the search is not just a hobby or obsession, but a pursuit with real historical significance. The artifacts provide context, proof, and a tangible connection to the past, reinforcing the importance of continued exploration. The ongoing investigation will likely focus on uncovering additional artifacts, analyzing their composition, and determining their relationship to the original money pit. Every object recovered adds to a larger puzzle, helping to reconstruct the story of Oak Island and the people who sought to protect its secrets. The team's careful, methodical approach ensures that no clue is overlooked, no detail ignored, and no discovery dismissed. Even with the collapse, the quest continues. Oak Island remains one of the most intriguing and challenging archaeological sites in the world. The combination of natural hazards, human ingenuity, and historical mystery creates a story that captivates explorers and viewers alike. Rick Labina's confirmation of the chisel's importance is a milestone, but it is also a reminder that the journey is ongoing.
100 acres, but it is full of challenges. The soil is wet, sandy, and filled with layers of clay, peat, and rock, making any excavation dangerous. Water flows underground in complex channels, and many of the previous shafts dug over the centuries have collapsed or flooded. Every time someone attempts to dig deeper, they are reminded that Oak Island is not just a hole in the ground, it is a natural and engineered trap, combining human ingenuity with the power of nature. Over the years, countless people have tried to solve the mystery, from the Onslow Company in the 1800s to more modern treasure hunters. Almost everyone has encountered the same obstacles: flooding, cave-ins, and booby traps. Many have left behind debris, tools, and broken equipment which now litter the soil. This layer of history, while frustrating to diggers, has also preserved clues. The recent discoveries by Rick and Marty Lagina show just how valuable even the smallest artifact can be. Every piece of metal, wood, or stone tells a story about those who came before and what they were trying to achieve. The money pit itself has always been the central focus of exploration. The original story tells of a depression under a large oak tree where 3 teenagers began digging in 1795. They discovered layers of wooden platforms and eventually a stone with mysterious symbols. Almost immediately, the pit flooded, creating one of the first booby traps in the long history of Oak Island. Over the years, explorers have tried to bypass this trap, digging adjacent shafts or tunneling beneath the pit, only to be met with disaster. The repeated flooding of the money pit earned it a reputation as one of the most dangerous excavation sites in the world. When the Lagina team drilled the steel-reinforced shafts, it seemed they had finally found a way to overcome the island's challenges. These massive shafts, designed to hold back water and support the unstable ground, represented years of engineering, planning, and millions of dollars in investment. They were meant to be the ultimate test, a modern solution to a centuries-old problem, and yet the collapse proved that the money pit still had the final word. Nature, combined with the careful planning of the original depositors, had created a structure that could not be easily defeated. But even in disaster, there is opportunity. The collapse left behind a pile of excavated material, the spoils, which became the key to new discoveries. This mountain of dirt, rock, and debris preserved everything removed from the money pit, from the surface down to the deepest levels before the collapse. It was here, in this pile, that the team began to uncover evidence that had been hiding in plain sight. The process of examining the spoils required incredible patience. Gary Drayton and the team spent hours scanning every inch of the pile, carefully sifting through signals to identify anything of value. The pile was contaminated with old iron, rusted fragments, and tools from previous explorers, making it difficult to separate the important signals from the noise. But with careful attention and persistence, the team began to uncover objects that were not just artifacts, they were pieces of history. The first major find, an old iron pickaxe, hinted at activity on the island long before the official discovery of the money pit. Experts analyzing the design and metallurgy suggested that it could date back to the 1600s. This meant someone had been digging in the area more than 100 years before the story of the three teenagers. It was a powerful clue, suggesting that Oak Island had been the site of a sophisticated operation carried out by people who knew exactly what they were doing. Shortly after, a more remarkable discovery was made: a heavy iron chisel. Unlike the pickaxe, the chisel was a tool designed for precision work. It had a flattened, hammered top and a sharp, functional blade, indicating it was used for shaping wood or stone. Laboratory analysis confirmed that it was made from simple iron, without modern alloys such as manganese. The absence of these elements suggested it was made in the 1700s or potentially even earlier. This discovery was monumental for the Lagina team. It confirmed that the money pit was not just a simple hole for burying treasure. Instead, it was a carefully constructed site, possibly containing a vault or chamber designed to hold and protect valuables. The chisel, used for fine craftsmanship, implied a level of planning and skill that had not been fully appreciated until now. Lagina, at 73, reacted with a mixture of excitement and reflection. For decades, he had followed every lead, endured every failure, and remained committed to solving the Oak Island mystery. This chisel was more than a tool. It was proof that their efforts were connected to a long history of skilled operations on the island. It rewrote the timeline, showing that organized work had taken place long before the famous 1795 discovery. The discovery of these artifacts also led to new theories about the original depositors of the money pit. Who were they? How did they manage to construct such a sophisticated system underground? And why did they go to such lengths to protect their treasure? The tools suggest that they were highly skilled, likely working as part of an organized group with knowledge of engineering, masonry, and woodworking. These questions only add to the mystery, providing a deeper appreciation of the ingenuity involved in the original construction. The chisel and pickaxe also prompted a reevaluation of how treasure hunters approach Oak Island. The collapse of the reinforced shafts showed that even modern engineering cannot easily overcome the challenges posed by the money pit. Instead, success may depend on careful study of past efforts, analysis of the spoils, and a deep understanding of the natural and engineered obstacles present on the island. The laboratory analysis played a crucial role in understanding the artifacts. Using X-ray fluorescence scanners, the team was able to determine the precise chemical composition of the metal objects. This allowed them to confirm the age and authenticity of the chisel, pickaxe, and other artifacts. The technology provided a non-destructive way to study these ancient tools, offering clear evidence that they were original items from the money pit's construction rather than modern contaminants. These discoveries highlight the complexity of Oak Island. The money pit is not simply a hole in the ground. It is a site of careful design, intricate planning, and high levels of craftsmanship. Each artifact provides insight into the skills, tools, and methods used by the original depositors. Together, they form a picture of a sophisticated operation that required careful execution and forethought.
The construction methods, the placement of artifacts, and the possible locations of hidden chambers. Each discovery is a clue, helping